Good morning. It is the 8th of August 2025. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Mwaka inaisha, siku zinaenda. This is Morning Cafe. My name is Anodida. Karibu sana.
It's only the second Friday of August, 139 days to Christmas. It is a feel-good Friday right here. Karibu sana. My name is Fred Indimuli.
Let's take a look at the local dailies. Daily Nation: governors reject e-citizen system for county funds.
Why Lamu remains a terrorist playground. That's the People Daily.
The Standard: e-citizen billions trail.
Taifa Leo: mikakati ya kutunza ndoa yako. Lakini hapa kuna picha za watu wawili hapa. Ndoa yao.
Business Daily: Dar tycoon faces scrutiny over Portland cement deal.
And finally, on the weekend star, IEBC under fire of a costly 7 billion shilling technology swap. A very long sentence there. Yeah.
And we'll be back to take a look at the local dailies.
But even before we go even on this, continue with this, it's time for us to congratulate the Harambee Stars. Kama uliwatch your game jana. In fact, the last few seconds of the game.
Walituokoa.
Where I was watching it from. Nimewatch game, najua sasa at least ni draw. Seconds to the end of the game, Angola wakafunga bao. Nikatoka nikaenda. Nikajua imeisha. Nikienda, nikasikia kelele watu wana shout. Nikarudi. But congratulations to the Harambee Stars.
Daily Nation. Let's kwanza twende regional dailies.
Ni kama unataka kutuharakisha.
Ni kama hapa tulijikangana.
On the youth perspective today, being a Friday, we'll be having analysts, very young analysts, Hans Rop, Winnie Asiko Abuti, Vitalis Nyongesa, and Ken Babu, whose title has changed. He was the youth chairperson, the national youth leader for DAPK, but now his title is Youth Chair, the United Opposition. Hey, Ken Babu atatumaliza. Anyway, he'll be here in studio starting at 6:30.
The enemy is poverty. We'll be having the Nyali Cambridge Links group in studio once again for their spelling bee challenge with their teacher Kemonto Lillian. And then later on the show, DJ Granite will be joining Bansi Kimuyu and I for some great music and good vibes. All right. Sasa wanasema turudi tena huku mwanzo regional dailies.
Mbio sana.
Jamani.
Tukatoka alisema hii ni kama samaki, you don't go back. Once you start unaendelea. So leo lakini tunaanza na bongo.
Gazeti la Mwananchi: hisia tofauti kifo cha Job Ndugai. Wanasiasa wasomi wamlilia Daktari Tulia, mtaja kwa msimamo. Mkuu wa wilaya aonya vijana walioshangilia kifo chake kuagwa bungeni. So Tanzania ni kama tu wa Kenya. Yaliyotikisa bunge la Job Ndugai. Kushambuliwa stahiki za Tundu Lissu ni moja ya mambo yaliyotikisa utawala wa Ndugai. Kuapishwa kwa MD wenzake 18 kuliibuka mjadala na kulitikisa bunge wakati wake. Alitamba uimara kulinda heshima, nidhamu kwa wabunge na watumishi wa wabunge.
Alikuwa spika wa bunge la Tanzania wakati John Pombe Magufuli alikuwa rais.
Kuna vijana walishangilia kifo chake. That is what I'm saying. Tanzanians are like Kenyans. What is happening?
Ndugu zetu hao.
Ratiba ya mazishi: Jumapili Agosti tarehe 10 mwili kupelekwa na kuagwa bungeni, na Jumatatu Agosti tarehe 11 mwili kupelekwa kwake nyumbani Kongwa kuangwa na maziko. Chauma yamaliza shughuli, habari katika ukurasa wa 2 na 3. Kinara wa kura za maoni CCM azusha tafrani, na Chadema yavuka hatua ya kwanza amri zuio la koti. Dar es Salaam, Chadema kimevuka kizingiti cha kwanza cha pingamizi la awali katika shauri la maombi ya marejeo dhidi ya amri ya zulo la kufanya siasa. Habari kamili katika ukurasa wa 18 wa gazeti hili. Wanaweza
pata bahati, lakini wakifunguliwa sasa hii it's too late, a little bit too late. But anyway, bado kuna miezi miwili.
On the top strip: mabasi ya wasili Dar huku miundombinu ikianza kuharibiwa na mkakati mpya kupunguza bei gesi ya kupikia. Gazeti la Mwananchi.
All right. Tukisalia kule bongo, the Citizen: Ndugai still talking about the late, rather the former speaker. A legacy of power, reform and political paradox. The former speaker of the National Assembly, who died on Wednesday, is remembered not only for his long public service, but also his complex and at times contentious role in shaping the country's legislative landscape. Kwa hivyo si Kenya peke yake mnasema speaker wa bunge ni contentious. Hata hapa Kenya kuna wale wanasema huyu anaenda empowerment. All right. So they still talk about the death of the former speaker. More political news. ACT set to shake up presidential races in 2025 general election. The run-up to the general election has taken an interesting turn following ACT Wazalendo's official unveiling of its presidential candidates. Yeah. Wale wanasema watapigana na Samia Suluhu Hassan. Why government is seeking bulk procurement of cooking gas. That story on page 2. And there's a youth-led study which aims for solutions to key social issues. Pale juu, Tanzania National named AFDB Chief Information Officer, CIO. Right, that's the Citizen.
All right, twende kule Uganda. Daily Monitor, tears of joy and sorrow in an NRM petitions verdict. And the National Resistance Movement Party Tribunal has started issuing judgments to petitioners who felt the July 17 primaries were not free and fair. The party offices were filled with mixed emotions, but no win was nullified, and there is no repeat poll declared so far. Tears of joy and sorrow.
Sema kuna majonzi kule.
EC Electoral Commission poll registered swells to 21 million voters. Matters election here, they say yesterday the Electoral Commission put 21 million, the preliminary number of voters that have so far been vetted following the recent voter register update. Musinguzi leaves print on Uganda's politics and economy. There's an obituary for James Garuga Musinguzi, who they say had it all: money, influence, and the ability to deploy it efficiently. He remained noble, yet a giant that left a trail in Uganda's politics and economics. The rich aren't paying taxes, according to URA report. Nation prays for Rhoda Kalema, and that's the Daily Monitor.
Right, let's cross over to Uganda, and we start off with a new vision this Friday.
We were in Uganda, Fred.
No, we were in Tanzania.
This is the Daily Monitor.
Oh, okay. We are still in Uganda. Okay, let's stay in Uganda.
Yes.
It's a Friday. This is a new vision. Electoral Commission adjusts 2026 polls roadmap. Nomination dates for MPs, LC5 candidates changed. And I've seen on the Daily Monitor they're talking about the voters register here. I don't know why they're not talking about the register, but it still matters. Elections making it to the front page. Hapa chini wanaongea kuhusu how NRM Tribunal ruled in 45 petitions. Some of the winners there on the front page. More election stories. Poverty fight leaders need to do more. That's on under the banner 2026 Uganda Decides Citizens Manifesto. And they've still found space for Yoweri Museveni. Kobusoga anasema government to buy sugar factory for farmers. All right, so that's the new vision in Uganda.
All right, and those are the regional dailies. Let's take a look at the weather situation. Ya leo, kunakaa vipi? If it's still cold, it's a bit warmer in Nairobi today. Okay.
So tuanze na zoom.earth hapa tujue mawingu yanakaa namna gani Afrika. Ni kama inaweza kuwa inakuja kutukaribia hapa. Tukue tayari. There's a dot right here on the border over Lake Victoria. Actually, Mali, the borders between Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya meet right inside Lake Victoria. There's a huge cloud cover there. Kama tuna share, yetu ni ndogo sana, like less than 7%. Inside Kenya, you can see a lot of the cloud cover on the Rift Valley. Areas around Eldoret, Nakuru, and Narok have some cloud cover, better than even the Mount Kenya region. Northern parts of the country also enjoying some clouds, border with Ethiopia, as well as in Turkana. So we start off in the Lake Victoria region. In Siaya, tuone wanasema nini kule.
It's 19 degrees in Siaya this morning, feels like 25. Clear skies with periodic clouds. Highs of 29 degrees and precipitation in Siaya today, 3.7 millimeters.
Yes, you kwa nini tumeangalia Siaya na Kisumu bandisa watu tuangalie Kisumu pia.
There is no harm.
In Kisumu, it's 19 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy. Highs of 28 degrees. But you see, it's 19 but feels like 24. And it's feeling very warm this morning. 3.2 millimeters of rainfall in Kisumu. Quite warm weather in the Lake Victoria region. Tuangazie Nyahururu, I'm sure it is very different there. It must be.
14 degrees feels like it, a cloudy day. Highs of 20 degrees and precipitation in Nyahururu today, 5.5 millimeters, the highest so far. Tunde Mandera.
In Mandera, we do not expect any rainfall today, but you never know. Let's check. It is 25 degrees currently, which is higher than most people will even experience. Like Nyahururu will not get to 25. It feels like 27. Highs of 32 degrees, mostly cloudy, precipitation near 0.
Perfect. Kilifi, 22 degrees, feels like 25, a mostly cloudy day. Highs of 27 degrees and precipitation in Kilifi today, 0.0 millimeters. That means Nyahururu is the highest so far.
And you can see areas around the coast are beginning to warm up now. And in Nairobi, do expect some rain, likely starting late afternoon, around 4 p.m. Currently, it's 14 degrees Celsius. It'll only get as high wamesema 13.4 millimeters of rainfall. So hiyo jioni mjue kutakuwa na mvua.
The whole night.
Starting from 6 p.m. kuendelea into the night kutakuwa na mvua, but the highs during the day I think it's 21 degrees. So it's a very cold day in Nairobi today. Yes.
All right, 8 minutes past 6. Tuangalie Friday traffic.
And this is how our Friday traffic is looking like. Yes, I knew it was going to update itself. Very comfortable traffic. You see Outer Ring Road, just dots of yellow here and there. Jogoo Road, similar, Makadara and at City Stadium roundabout. But today, for the first time in a very long time, Landis Road is busy. Pale opposite Machakos bus station and opposite Gikomba. Yo barabara inaenda kuingia town pale Muthurwa. It's getting busy and even busier as you get into Haile Selassie Avenue between Marikiti na pale Railways bus station. So ni kama kuna watu wengi wana travel. That's why it's so busy there. Other areas, Mombasa Road, the expressway is green all the way. Hata ile Mombasa Road ya chini ndio kuna first floor na kuna ile ground floor. Yote ni green. Lang'ata Road, Mbagathi Way, which is called Raila Odinga Way. Ngong Road, Valley Road, all looking green. Wayaki Way too. This is typical Friday traffic. Watu wajaenda kazini. Jana waliharibu, walikuwa na watch mpira ya Harambee Stars. Hata Thika Road, it's green all the way. And incidentally, that plane crash at Mwehoko, the death toll has risen to 6. Yeah. Pangani interchange, nothing out of the ordinary. Typical Friday traffic. Ni kama mjisiki kwenda kazi leo.
All right, let's take a look at the quote of the day.
You have the power to rewrite your story at any point. You are not defined by your past mistakes or failures, but by your ability to rise, to try again, and to keep moving forward with purpose.
All right, we start off with the Daily Nation. Governors reject e-citizen system for county funds. It is a standoff even before the dust settles on the storm over the e-citizen system, which auditors say is losing billions of shillings and its ownership is questionable. The government plans to roll out a similar one-stop shop payment platform for counties. This has kicked up a fresh controversy, with some governors rejecting the proposal as another assault on devolution and a plot by tenderpreneurs to bag a lucrative deal. Treasury says the reforms will curb wastage and improve revenue collection.
And this discussion comes at an interesting time as the devolution conference is set to kick off next week on Tuesday.
Say Governors Kehiga, Nasir, Kilonzo and Barire insist the national government wants to use the system to frustrate counties, but senators support Treasury. Mtula Kilonzo anasema what the government wants to do is collect and release the funds at its whims. It wants to justify procurement of a system similar to e-citizen. This story is on page 4 and 5 of the Daily Nation. CHAN 2024 CHAN 10-man Harambee Stars draw with Angola makes it the front page of the Daily Nation. And I'm trying to kuangalia wali cover wapi exactly in this newspaper.
It's page 35, kule nyuma. So Kenya is currently on top of Group A. They've, after playing 2 matches, they still have to play Morocco. Hapo sasa ndio tutajua mbivu na mbichi.
Right now they're getting 500,000.
They should be getting $500,000 each.
So 1.5 million. 1.5.
Oh yes.
All right. Matters immigration. Kenyan loses fight to block Canada from deporting a family. Teachers want state of a medical scheme. And KUPPET has vowed its members will go on strike if the healthcare plan run by Minet is withdrawn and they're transferred to the public service scheme operated by SHA. Inside Ruto, Raila road to 2027 pre-poll coalition pact. The story is on page 7. A plan by President William Ruto's and Mr. Raila Odinga's parties to convene joint parliamentary group meetings and track implementation of their cooperation agreement is being viewed as laying the ground for a 2027 pre-election coalition. The music festival is still ongoing without jana ilikuwa gala. They're saying adjudicators describe the items and performances by learners as intense and engaging. On the back page, we see that story here on page 3 as well of Amref aircraft crashes near Githurai yesterday. Death toll, of course, has risen to 6, 2 being members of that area. 4 were on board.
All right.
Why CAF slapped heavy fine on Kenya, and CAF rules that FKF breached various safety and security regulations and disciplinary code on Sunday and imposes a total of 2.5 million in fine. Fans milienda misbehave. Now CAF metupea fine. That's the Daily Nation.
From the Daily Nation to the Standard, they're still talking about the e-Citizen, but this one is about the billions that are said to have been lost. E-Citizen billions trail. So 9.4 billion shillings was moved from the e-Citizen in an intricate manner and involving a shadowy web. A damning audit report has exposed how the money may have been siphoned off through illegal payments and accounted for convenience fees and questionable withdrawals. The revelations, which Parliament is now probing, point to a system plagued by opacity, poor oversight, and possible collusion. As lawmakers call for the platform's termination and a full-scale investigation, the scandal has reignited debate over the dangers of unchecked digitization without transparency. It's been given quite some coverage, pages 4, 5, and 6. Now, you can see this breakdown on the front page of the Standard. It's about ownership. Ownership, nani, and all the names of all the companies involved. Lexco 7 Limited, majina yote yako pale. Pesaflow Limited, majina. Olive Tree Media Limited and Webmasters Africa Limited, and how they each received monies from this e-Citizen system. Key irregularities that have been identified is that Pesaflow's account was not disclosed nor approved by Treasury, yet it transacted money from the system. Electronic System Solutions Limited paid over 500 million shillings without contract legitimacy or ownership disclosure. Hawajui nani yako hapo, lakini 500 million inalipwa. Lack of service level agreement, what they call SLAs, with financial service providers. Convenience fees collected in violation of gazette notices. Convenience fees ni zile unachajiwa kama customer. When you go to seek any service, kuna ile 50 bob, and the other payments you make, which they had not updated, so Kenyans were overcharged over a period of time. Transfers to undisclosed private entities directly from a government pay bill. Where history ni kama movie, ni kama video. Inside pages, as you said, the National Music Festival pale, there's a story about the survivors of the 1998 August 7th bomb blast, and they say life changed for worse, yet to have been forgotten. That's the blast victims. Kenya and US relations not in crisis, Mudavadi tells Parliament. That's a big discussion. And VAR drama on the back page, as spirited 10-man Harambee Stars hold Angola. So we beat DRC, and now we drew with Angola. Incidentally, DRC beat Zambia. Very interesting games here. Morocco coming up later. And we have a picture there of Harambee Stars defender Daniel Sakari and Suleiman Manzour in action against Angolan midfielder Gilberto during yesterday's 2024 CHAN Group A match at Kasarani Stadium. And that's the Standard.
All right. Taifa Leo, mikakati ya kutunza ndoa yao. Duru zasema Ruto na Raila wameanza mipango ya kuunda muungano watakaotumia katika uchaguzi wa mwaka 2027. Mbali na kuunda kamati ya watu 5 kufuatilia utekelezaji wa ajenda 10 katika mkataba wao wa maelewano, imefichuka UDA na ODM watakuwa wanafanya mikutano ya kitaifa ya kamati za vyama pamoja. So what happens to
na Jubilee? Juzi walisema wanataka Raila, walisema ukiachana na Ruto tutakuunga mkono. Lakini Ruto ni nani? Ashajipanga.
Ni kama pia baba amejipanga, huwezi kujua, but it's a matter of time. Vidokezo zaidi, ajali ya ndege yaua abiria 4 na majonzi ya usafiri wakipoteza maisha Mwihoko, abiria 2 wajeruhiwa.
Lakini that's an old numbers. Waliouawa sasa ni 6.
Wanasiasa chipukizi tishio eneo la Magharibi, Mudavadi na Wetangula waanza kufunikwa na chipukizi. Tanzania wakaa pema katika CHAN, majirani watia guu robo finali baada ya kulaza Mauritania na DRC wafufuka. Na sisi tuko wapi?
Tuko sawa, we are top of group A.
Mbele hapa, mbele ya this
wanazungumzia Tanzania lakini hawazungumzii
Kenya.
Watu wanaleta mchezo.
On the top strip, magavana wapinga e-Citizen kwa kaunti zao. Serikali yataka kaunti zikusanye kodi kwa kutumia mfumo huo. Na nitamwanika Ruto Amerika, Gachagua asema atafichua kwa Amerika siri zote za maovu anazojua kumhusu Rais Ruto. Habari kamili katika ukurasa wa 3 wa gazeti hili. Taifa Leo.
Kutoka Taifa Leo tuangalie the Weekend Star. We talk about the IEBC being under fire of a costly 7 billion technology swap. And you know, every time we go into an election, they have to procure new technology. Commission says current stock of KIMS kits procured for 2017 polls is obsolete. So the story is on pages 4 and 5. Tufungue tu tuangalie. Wanasema nini? Hizi pesa si ndogo. Kumbuka bado kuna by-election inakuja. So the IEBC is once again at the center of a growing political and public storm after announcing plans to procure a fresh set of election management system at a staggering cost of 7 billion shillings for the 2027 polls. 10 years ago we had a system in 2017. Sasa inasemekana hiyo it's obsolete. Hiyo haiwezi fanya kazi. Back to the front page, pictures there of the scene where the plane crashed in Mwihoko, killing 6 people. Amref aircraft crashes into building in Mwihoko and kills 6. It was a sad afternoon there. Other stories highlighted on the front page of this paper. Jilted lover after my job, policeman tells court. Sema wananiandama sana. That story is on page 3. And that's the Star. Tukiangalia huku ndani ni mambo gani ingine? Sioni mambo mengine tunaweza zungumzia hapa. Hata back page why Zambia fell. Na wajazungumzia Harambee Stars sana. All right.
Wametuweka wapi hapa juu?
Hapa sijaona because even group according to the Star we are still second to Morocco. Morocco hawajacheza game ya pili. Si tushacheza. We are top of group A. Kwa chance standing. So ni kama hawa bado hajanini. Data hawakupata ama walienda kulala mapema. That's a Weekend Star. Grab yourself a copy of it. It comes with a siasa pullout, and they're talking about these being the rebels. Western Kenya leaders, Boni Halwale, George Natembea, and Edwin Sifuna. Are these the rebels within? Focus on Western Kenya. All right.
People Daily, why Lamu remains terrorist playground. Border point only a few kilometers from Kismayu in Somalia, the base of Al-Shabaab. Tusikie tu kidogo why Lamu remains terrorist playground. And they're saying before, this is a special feature of one Sheikh Abud Rogo Mohammed. He was gunned down in a hail of bullets on August 27, 2012, reportedly while driving his wife to hospital, and he gives his story and how that happened. The story is on page 4. Brave Harambee Stars shift focus to Morocco duel, pages 30 and 32.
And this is only the second paper that has given the Stars prominence on the front page today. The only other paper that has done that is the Daily Nation.
ODM strife, Sifuna's stand, and the party's uncertain future. That story is on page 6. And on the top strip, CS Miano taken to task over 31 billion shillings Bomas what is that? Facelift. All right. That's the People Daily.
Let's focus on matters business. Dar Tycoon faces scrutiny over Portland cement deal, and we do have a physical copy of this paper. Tanzanian tycoon Eda Abdallah Munif and his bid to purchase an extra 29.2% stake in East Africa Portland Cement Company is set to test the competition laws that forbid the sharing of trade secrets among rival firms in the wake of his recent acquisition of Bamburi Cement. So he owns Bamburi Cement. Sasa anataka kununua East Africa Portland Cement. Now as the owner, his secrets in our flow too, by their rival companies. Okay. So Amson's owner bid for EAPC after Bamburi buyout and billionaires fight for cement industry control looms. State eyes 20 billion shilling stake in manufacturers is another story on the ticker. The government is looking to make up to 20 billion shilling worth of equity investments in viable ventures in the manufacturing sector. Stanbic Bank doubles dividend as net profit dips 9%, and finally CBK sets 20 million shilling threshold for micro-lenders. All credit-only microfinanciers with a 20 million shilling capital base or lending funds will require mandatory permits by the CBK and proposed regulations aimed at handing the Apex Bank a tighter grip on the industry. Those are the business highlights this Friday morning.
All right. Tuangalie caricature. This is the Star. Kuna wheelbarrow pale being driven by Prime Cabinet Secretary, lakini anabeba
ni kama gurudumu ya hii wheelbarrow. Enda kwa chini kule.
Lakini nani anasukuma pale? President.
Na amebeba tinga kwa wheelbarrow.
But the opposition leaders are watching. Anaitwa pale. This is Jubilee outfits.
That's a caricature of the former president. Lakini ule mwenye anamdunga hivi amejificha na president, anamdunga anambia that's anaitwa nani, Muradhi.
Kuja huku.
Anambia ukikuja huku tutakusupport. Lakini tayari ashawekwa kwa wheelbarrow. Chunga sana.
Lakini he can jump out. Hiyo wheelbarrow bado iko chini kabisa.
You've seen the dailies, they're talking about a possible coalition and that they're going to be holding joint parliamentary group meetings going forward. What does that mean?
That's the Star.
On the Daily Nation, and this one may escape many people who've not been following global politics. Yes, they are drawing parallels with what's happening in the global arena with what's happening between the US and Kenya currently. So Donald Trump has been having this opposition to windmill generation of electricity. Everywhere he goes, na unajua shida yake nini? Because he has golf courses, anasema hizo windmills inaharibu hiyo mandhari. Ukiangalia kule uoni vizuri sababu kuna windmills kila mahali. So he's opposed to that. Even in Scotland, because he has a golf resort, he was opposed to that. So hapa juu anasema fair winds, lakini kuna winds of change zina blow the different direction. Now winds of change ni ile President William Ruto when he went to China. Na akasema now Kenya and China are partners in the new world order. So the winds are blowing in a different direction. China. Ndio Xi Jinping ako hapa chini.
Na kwa nini anaomba?
Fair winds, winds of change. But the constant ni Rais Ruto na begging ball.
All right, this is the People Daily. Matters Education, who is feeding on our school feeding project. Wanafunzi wanauliza pale, but indeed there's somebody here with a red tie. Anakula kweli kweli. They have the money, but there's somebody here who is eating from that plate.
And he's using a straw.
Mdomo mrefu imefika hadi kwa.
Huyu ni nani huyu?
People Daily.
Finally on the Standard, and this is Harry. Sema one day in 2027 kuna jamaa anaitwa Rogue DCI ametoka mbio. We have to debrief you. Apatikani. You must account for your past actions. We only follow orders. Why me? You can run but cannot hide. So basically, according to this cartoonist, he's talking about the actions by the DCI. He's calling them the Rogue DCI, and someone who's trying to bring them to account. But then we were justification yake anasema no, me I'm simply following orders. So every action that the DCI officers have been accused of taking, which has been deemed illegal or probably an overreach, anasema no, I'm simply following orders. But we anasema you can run but cannot hide. Eventually, utapatikana tu.
All right, that's the Standard, and those are the caricatures.
Yes, a reminder on the youth perspective today, we'll be having these young leaders, political analyst Hans Ropp and Winfred Asiko Abuti. Vitalis Nyongesa will be with us as well. Na Ken Babu, whose title may change, ni kama amepanda bei sasa. Is a youth chair, the united opposition. Takuwa natuambia mambo ya unity of the opposition. Wanafuata Uhuru, Baba, Matiang'i au nani?
Nimeona Ken Babu is smiling. He's already
Oh, amefika.
Later on, we'll be hosting the Nyali Cambridge Links Group School for their Spelling Bee challenge here in studio. That will be coming later on. And of course, DJ Granite will be joining me and Bansi Kimuyu for some great music. Baadaye.
Naona tuko na about 3 minutes or so. We can take a look at the traffic situation. Tuone kama watu wamekubali kuamuka. Najua ni Friday, lakini hamtaenda kazi leo. Hata kama Harambee Stars walidraw, milioni ni zao. Wewe lazima ujitafutie zako. Finally, Jogoo Road has woken up, and you can see there's that long stretch from Buruburu all the way mpaka ile roundabout ya Likoni Road. Further afield kule Outer Ring Road ndio wameamka. Areas like Tasia, Pipeline and Feather, it's getting red and yellow, meaning magari yameanza kurudi. Manyanja area is still green, ni kama huko hakuna, but you can see this. Kangundo Road, areas around Roasters pale, ukifika Umoja Phase 1 Market pale, this long stretch of red, but that is going in the opposite direction. Hao ni kama wanaenda Njiru. Wale wenye wanakuja town ni kama hawajaamka bado. All right, so Kangundo Road getting very busy. Thika Road meanwhile is not so bad. And pale Pangani interchange pia hapo ndio kunaanza kuget busy kidogo. Lakini kwa kawaida kwa muda kama huu inakuanga imeingia hapa hadi Utalii Drift. But leo iko sawa tu. Not bad at all. The other side of town, nothing has changed so far. Wale I think they are working from home today. Yes. That's Friday traffic for you.
28 minutes past 6. Lakini, don't go too far. Interact with us via social media, TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube, on X at TV47 News KE. SMS line is 22047. My handle on X is at @an_Dida. The hashtag is Morning Cafe. Feel Good Friday.
All right, my handle is at Indimuli. See you after the break.
Our world is changing every day, and so should we, for the better. Each week, we tackle the big why, the question that should be on everyone's mind. Why isn't this fixed yet? Deforestation, global warming, and the adverse effects of climate change. The future isn't just something that we inherit, it's something that we create. Join us on The Green Fix as we tell the stories of those who refuse to give up. When it comes to fixing the planet, there is no time to waste. Join me, Shiksha Arora, on Thursdays at 9 p.m. on The Green Fix as we look into the big why, you and I.
For comprehensive information and education on your health, Body Garage is here.
Don't allow anyone to pluck out your good tooth as long as it is strong and stable.
Cancer doesn't start today and you get the symptoms tomorrow. By the time you pick it or the time it is manifesting in you, probably will be there about 5 to 10 years.
The eye is the window to the rest of the body.
Don't forget to stay hydrated.
And of course, you at home do take your water.
So the ultimate test is actually you check your urine. Your urine should be clear.
Clear like the water?
Yes. Should be able to see the other side of the urine. If your urine is colored or has changed color, you cannot see the other side, then you have not taken enough water.
Don't forget regular health checkups. Early detection saves lives.
I want the message be, we can prevent cervical cancer. We prevent cervical cancer in several ways. You have young girls and even somebody who's above that age, you can pay at least every 3 years. Somebody should have a pap smear done.
If you are 40, 45, 50, going upwards, once a year, please go see a doctor. Yeah, it's just for normal routine maintenance.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwe watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things for myself.
Tazama Mfahamu Kiongozi, ambapo kila kipindi kimejaa maarifa, mikakati na hadithi za kukuza azma yako.
For me to succeed, I have to fight.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30.
Our world is changing every day, and so should we, for the better. Each week, we tackle the big why, the question that should be on everyone's minds. Why isn't this fixed yet? Deforestation, global warming, and the adverse effects of climate change. The future isn't just something that we inherit, it's something that we create. Join us on The Green Fix as we tell the stories of those who refuse to give up. When it comes to fixing the planet, there is no time to waste. Join me, Shiksha Arora, on Thursdays at 9 p.m. on The Green Fix as we look into the big why, you and I.
For comprehensive information and education on your health, Body Garage is here.
Don't allow anyone to pluck out your good tooth as long as it is strong and stable.
Cancer doesn't start today and you get the symptoms tomorrow. By the time you pick it or the time it is manifesting in you, probably will be there about 5 to 10 years.
The eye is the window to the rest of the body.
Don't forget to stay hydrated.
And of course, you at home do take your water.
So the ultimate test is actually you check your urine. Your urine should be clear.
Clear like the water.
Yes. Should be able to see the other side of the urine. If your urine is colored or has changed color, you cannot see the other side, then you have not taken enough water.
Don't forget regular health checkups. Early detection saves lives.
I want the message be, we can prevent cervical cancer. We prevent cervical cancer in several ways. You have young girls and even somebody who's above that age, you can pay at least every 3 years. Somebody should have a pap smear done.
If you are 40, 45, 50, going upwards, once a year, please go see a doctor. Yeah, it's just for normal routine maintenance.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwe watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things for myself.
Tazama Mfahamu Kiongozi, ambapo kila kipindi kimejaa maarifa, mikakati na hadithi za kukuza azma yako.
For me to succeed, I have to fight.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30.
And good morning once again. This is a Youth Perspective right here on Morning Cafe. My name is Fred Indimuli. I have in studio Ken Babu, whose title has changed from, I think this is an additional title, yes. From National Youth Leader, DAP-K, now is the Youth Chair, the United Opposition. Karibu sana, Ken Babu. We also like to have with us Winfred Asiko Abuti, political analyst, and Vitalis Nyongesa, Youth Leader. Mimi nataka tuanze na Harambee Stars. Yeah, and it would appear, even as we congratulate the Stars, and we congratulate you for a new title.
Thank you.
It's just the effect that money has on young Kenyans. That with the millions coming the Stars' way, suddenly our fortunes appear to be changing. Babu.
I think first let me congratulate the team and say that they've really put us on a good place in the map. But on the money issues, I would like to say that motivation is very important. Mm-hmm. You know when you're fighting and you know that there is something at the end of it, you fight harder. As opposed to when you're fighting and you're not sure whether you're going to get something. So the team right now is very sure that the fight is not in vain. Mm-hmm. In as much as they are representing the country and putting, escalating patriotism, at the back of it, there is something they will take back home. Yes. And even their families are aware that if you push harder, we are going to get something at the end of it. So that motivation, I think for the first time, Mr. Ruto got it right.
Yes.
Yeah, motivation is very critical.
Winfred, for every draw, they'll get 500,000 shillings, meaning that now there are 1.5 million shillings, which are definitely, that's something to look forward to, even for any young Kenyan, don't you think?
I think, first of all, that's very good of the president to motivate the team. And also what I've witnessed is the Kenyans, they have really supported the team because the tickets were all bought and the stadium was very full. So it is very clear that Kenyans also had their input into the game. Mm-hmm. And when the other team scored against Harambee Stars, we saw that all Kenyans were very stressed and they had their breath. They held their breath waiting for our team to at least get something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Winfred, if they make it to the quarterfinals, 70 million shillings more, definitely.
Yeah, I'm just hoping we reach there.
Vitalis, what do you think of that?
Actually, that's a good thing. It's making the Kenyan players to be in high spirits. And definitely comparing the status of the nation right now, that is like economic empowerment to the young people. And Kenyans are very proud on what the Harambee team is doing. And also with doing that, you find that they will have the more motivation to work hard. Yeah.
All right. And even as we continue discussing this, and it's important that you mention economic empowerment, because we'll be discussing that in a short while. The Hustler Fund, what was intended to be economic empowerment for Kenyans at the bottom, that's Mama Mboga, and people who do small businesses, has turned out to be something different. Over 71% of those people whose intended benefit was for them to start businesses have refused to repay back the loans, and that means that it is a sinkhole of money. But before that, I'll need to go to Radio 47 and join my colleagues there, Alex Mwakideu and Emmanuel Mwashumbe, to discuss some of the headlines. Then I'll rejoin this panel in a short while.
Report has exposed how the money may have been siphoned off through illegal payments. Unakumbuka hii ni 9.4 billion shillings ambaye Auditor General anaiongelea. Kuambia 1 billion inamaanisha nini?
Yes,
Haya.
yes.
1 billion inamaanisha nini? Ukiwa na 1 billion unaweza kula 20,000 kila siku for the rest of your 137 years. Anyway, wanasema kwamba sasa hivi 9.4 billion huenda zimetumika vibaya pale katika gazeti hili la The Standard asubuhi hii leo. Kando na pale, ukiingia ndani ya gazeti la The Standard ili kuangalia ni yapi ambayo yamo ndani, 6 killed, 2 injured after Amref plane crashes on houses. Kuna ile plane ya Amref ambayo jana iliweza kucrash kwa manyumba Mwihoko pale. Watu 6 wameaga dunia na watu 2 wamepata majeruhi. Poleni sana kwa wale majeruhi na kwa wale ambao walipoteza wapendo wao katika masuala haya ya plane crash. All right.
Okay, katika gazeti la Daily Nation ama vile pia namuona pia my brother kutoka upande wa TV47 pale vile. Indimuli. Ashaingia katika studio. Vipi bro?
Niko salama sana.
Uko salama wa salimin?
Very happy for the Harambee Stars.
Naam.
Half a million shillings more. Wanakaribia quarter final.
Yes.
Wakifika pale 70 million shilling.
Yes.
Kama uko na relative na anachezea Harambee Stars.
Yes.
Wewe ndo rafiki yako sasa.
Sasa nasikia simu zao video tunawapigia simu kweli yani.
Sasa yao washikiki wale.
Sasa wako na 1.5.
1.5.
Untaxed.
Just like that. Within 1 week.
Within 1 week.
Hiyo game niliwatch hivi bwana.
Yes.
Towards the end.
Yes.
Kuna ile bao Angola walifunga.
Ndio.
Few seconds before the end of the game.
Yes.
Nikaondoka nikaenda.
Ukajua
imeenda hiyo imeisha. Sijafika mbali hata 100 meters nikasikia watu washangilia nikarudi.
Yes.
Wacha tu.
Kwani ulikuwa kwa wapi?
VAR
nilikuwa mahali, nilikuwa masehemu.
Ulikuwa kwa wapi?
Masehemu tu.
Mashuve
bwana.
Saa moja hiyo.
Ukisikia ndurunduru unajua si nyumbani.
Kaenda karegea. Ulikuwa na watch game
Nilikuwa na watch game.
Lakini VAR, hebu kwanza Fred Indimuli, unasemaje kuhusiana na VAR? What do you think about it? Your opinion?
Sijawahi kuwa supporter wa VAR sana. I feel ina dilute mchezo. Kandanda. Mi mambo ya kukaa tukirudia au tuangalie TV nini.
Ile nature ya soka
inaisha bana. Unakumbuka ile hand of God.
Yes.
Kama imepita.
Kuna kautamu fulani kaboli.
Kama refa hakuona inaisha hapo.
Kuna kautamu fulani kwa soka. Kamepungua kidogo. Lakini justice.
Technology imefika sasa tafanya nini?
Lazima tu embrace.
Bado kinaleta justice pia.
Yes.
Inaleta justice kwa soka.
Kungekuwa na VAR ile ilikuwa 1986 ama 1987 ile ya Diego Maradona.
Ile hand of God.
Angepata hiyo.
Angepata ile boli.
Okay. At the same time pia ukicheck Daily Nation pale vile inasema kwamba governors reject e-citizen system for county funds pale vile.
Na hii itachanganya watu kiasi. So it's a different system. Unacheki ukiangalia Standard wanazungumzia e-citizen na hapa pia wanazungumzia e-citizen. Hii e-citizen ni ile inaleta shida hii iko kwa Standard. Ni ile wanasema pesa kama takriban bilioni 10 zilipotea. Hii nyingine, and it's interesting, inakuja wakati kuna ile devolution conference inakuja next week. Wanataka kupatia governors some new system ya kucollect revenue kama e-citizen. Now it is e-citizen ya counties. Wanasema hapana. Kuna magavana kadhaa wamesema hapana, hii ni kama wale serikali ya kitaifa inajaribu kutufinya hapa.
Also the collections za county.
Maana magavana ambao wanazungumziwa wamekataa ni kama vile Kahiga kutoka upande wa Nyeri, Nasir Kilonzo, Mbarire, insist the national government wants to use the system to frustrate counties. Senators support the treasury, lakini senator pia wanasema leteni new system katika counties.
Unajua sasa inategemea nani atakuwa na run hii system.
Ndio.
Counties wanasema sisi pesa zetu tukizicollect tunataka kuzirun sisi wenyewe.
Yes.
Lakini national government wanataka system yenye pia wale watakuwa wanaweza control.
So why do they want to control pesa zinakuwa collected katika counties jamani?
Tunazungumzia technology. Technology imekuja to embrace.
It's okay.
Kama VAR hata e-citizen to embrace.
Na si kila county kuna njia yake kucollect pesa zake digitally. Most of the counties.
Sasa wanataka moja collective, moja ya kucollect.
Kuna njia moja. Kama national government moja, mbona counties kila mtu akwe nayo? Tukue na moja. Mimi naona pia sawa, itazuia pia some of the things katika hizo counties. Wao pia wako na uovu wao. Wako na uozo wao pia.
IBC under fire over costly 7 billion technology swap. Commission says current stock of Kim's kits procured for 2017 polls is obsolete.
Yes. Nasema hizo ziwezi tumika. Kim's kit ile ilitumika 2017, 10 years later haitakuwa inaweza kutumika. Technology tena.
Imepitwa na technology?
Technology
ama zimeharibika?
Technology.
Kwani ngoja nikuulize, kwani technology ambayo tulichukua 2027 umesema 2017 kwani imekuwa outdated?
Sasa hiyo hata unajua hata simu yako ya 2017 sasa hiwezi itumia.
Okay, by election tutatumia gani?
Most likely by election tutatumia ile ya 2017. Lakini ifikapo 2027 lazima ikuwe ni mpya.
So hawawezi kuzi-update tu? Kuna na update katika simu inakwambia update.
Wewe ukinunua simu yako uta-update ama utanunua mpya?
Si software tu.
Technology.
No, si software. Inatumia software.
Leo mambo yote ni technology.
Okay. Technology. Upande wa Taifa Leo wanasema namna gani mikakati ya kutunza ndoa yao. Bila shaka ni mikakati ile ambayo inawekwa na ODM na UDA. Kuna mkutano ambao utakuwa unafanyika kati ya hao wawili kuhakikisha kwa the 10 point agenda zinafanyika ama zifanyiki.
Hiyo ni upande mmoja. Upande wa pili ni kwamba going forward wanasema UDA na ODM watakuwa na hold joint parliamentary group meetings. Sasa ni kama wote wako serikali. Mikutano inaitwa State House, wale bunge wa ODM wote wanaenda huko State House. Wanakutana na wale wa UDA. Alafu wanakubaliana tukienda bunge, hivi ndio tunafanya pamoja. Unakumbuka juzi tu, Jubilee kiongozwa na Rais Uhuru Kenyatta. Walisema ni kama wanafikiria wakaambia Raila, ukiachana na Ruto, tutakuunga mkono 2027.
Kweli?
Lakini sasa Ruto pia anasema karibia hapa baba. Tuunde coalition.
Unaenda wapi?
Tunang'ang'ania baba sasa.
Wewe ni mtu wangu.
Hapo tu ndo hakuna technology. Kwingine kote tunazungumzia technology.
Asante sana Fred Indimuli.
Even as I go back to TV47, I want to discuss matters to do with e-citizen. Jana PS wa Treasury alikuwa bunge Kiptoo. It's part of the stories we covered at TV47. Let's have that story as I make my way back to studio. Asante.
Thank you so much. Na katika dondoo za Taifa Leo ni kwamba
It was a crucial appearance for the government team led by Treasury Cabinet Secretary Dr. Chris Kiptoo alongside Immigration PS Belio Kipsang and ICT PS John Tanui as they faced a parliamentary committee to respond to the Auditor General's report, which flagged a possible loss of at least 10 billion shillings through the e-citizen digital payments platform. Kiptoo strongly denied claims of financial loss in the management of the e-citizen, dismissing the special audit report as misleading and incomplete. The report had highlighted significant financial variances and unexplained transactions, raising serious accountability concerns.
And we will provide all the information required. I want to assure Kenyans from 2023 up to onwards, there is no money that has been lost, to my knowledge. But we are subject to audit. I wish also we had the chance to discuss this audit report with the auditor, because there are things here that we also feel we could have provided. This is the disadvantage of a special audit, because a special audit, you never get the chance to reply. But clearly, we have interest, like everybody else, to resolve this matter once and for all.
Addressing questions over the ownership of the eCitizen platform, a key issue raised in the audit, Dr. Kiptoo cited Executive Order Number 2, which outlines the legal framework guiding the platform's operations and revenue management. Kiptoo pointed out the National Treasury is responsible for the management of revenue in line with PFM Act 2012, as he insisted that eCitizen is one of the country's most transparent platforms and is now fully managed by the government.
It takes this time to properly equip this document with proper information. There is further supplementary evidence, evidential material that is not properly put here.
Response E, there is no evidence. On response I, there is no evidence.
eCitizen portal is hosted in a data center under the control of the National Treasury. H, disclosure of all third-party engagements, liabilities, and taxes relating to eCitizen platform. Our response is that at the time of signing of the contract, the vendor disclosed all their third-party engagements. This was also done in the handover agreement.
The Auditor General also questioned the platform's use of flat rate convenience fees instead of prorated charges as gazetted, the PS acknowledging delays in implementing the revised fee structure but attributed the setback to technical challenges. The committee is scheduled to reconvene next week to continue its inquiry into the matter. Elizabeth Mutuko, TV47, Nairobi.
Yes, technology. It appears this is what we're grappling with. Technology to help with revenue collection, but we're seeing loopholes in our system which may have allowed the pilferage of about 10 billion shillings. Lawmakers are now calling for the platform's termination and a full-scale investigation. You know, the scandal has reignited debate over the dangers of unchecked digitization without transparency. That's the standard. And of course, on the Daily Nation, they talk about extending similar technology to the counties. Ken,
yes,
this is 2025. We cannot in any way afford to ignore technology. Digitization is a way of life.
Yes.
Do you believe that doing away with the eCitizen system would be the best way to go? Is it, or do you think it's simply challenges with the people who are using this technology? Probably they are not well versed as far as technology is concerned. I know you're a young Kenyan, you must be technologically savvy. What do you think the problem is with technology? It's a good thing, yet we're encountering very serious challenges.
Thank you so much, Fred. And allow me say first that I agree with you that technology is very critical. And in the era that we are in right now and moving forward, we must embrace technology in whatever thing that we're doing. And the idea of eCitizen, I think at the introduction point, it was one of the best ideas because at first, in the inception, it was able to curb and reduce the level of hand-to-hand corruptions that were initially so rampant and a common case in our institutions. Unfortunately, we've realized that within the systems of eCitizen, there were some hidden ways of siphoning public funds, but this time around going to specific individuals who had put themselves within the systems to divert funding of cash flow or from eCitizen. And listening to Principal Secretary for Treasury, Dr. Kiptoo, saying that this information is false and therefore there is need for clarity, then it begs the question of, is the Auditor General lying to Kenyans that this money was stolen? Or is the Auditor General saying that this money was stolen and it was not stolen? So then it means Kiptoo knows where this money is. Maybe to him, to his understanding, it wasn't stolen. It was just taken. You know, maybe he's trying to say that this money was not stolen, but it was just taken and somebody picked the money. He didn't steal. But the biggest concern is on the unlawful withdrawals. Because if you look at what the Auditor General, Office of the Auditor General reported, he said that PesaFlow account illegally collects 6.3 billion. Transfer is to eCitizen bank accounts. So illegal collection alone is 6.3 billion. And then she goes on and says that Treasury irregularly paid about 549 million to eCitizen Solution Company, which is an alien company associated with the eCitizen agreement. So there's an illegal collection of 6.3 billion. And then there's an illegal payment of 549 million to an illegal company, to which, according to Auditor General, they do not know the owner. Get that? So to some extent, this money might be going into individual accounts. And then he goes on and said that a staggering 2.6 billion transferred from PESA flow system to the Eastern settlement accounts, not to be linked to any invoices from the PESA flow. Get that? So these are transfers that are being made, but they are not aligned for purpose of invoices. Let me just finish on this and say that it was established that the Equity Bank statements for Eastern collections accounts had receipts amounting to 6.2 billion from undisclosed account. Undisclosed account, 6.2 billion. You know, Fred, maybe for us who are here, including ourselves, we might know what amount, how much is 6.2 billion. If we break it down, the 6.2 billion to people who are in the machinani, 6.2 billion can construct up to 100 level 3 hospitals, fully equipped.
And Winfred, the issue, it would appear, is that yes, we cannot do without technology, but it would seem we have very serious challenges with those people who are using this technology. Do you think it would be wise to go back on the same technology and say, okay, fine, since we are failing in how we use or how we track it, then probably technology is not it for us? We go back to paper trails.
Okay, what I would say is, Fred, technology is good, and we have seen what it has done for this country and the world at large. The world now is a small global village where you can access any information you want. You can work from anywhere. You can get any information on Google or anything. It has increased, there's easy access to information. And then there's increased productivity. You see, if many people are working using technology in a certain environment, they can easily deliver as compared to a group of people who are working without technology, just working manually. So technology is good, and it is good that Kenya has embraced technology. And also we have seen technology has improved even the education system. It has improved the healthcare system. So it will be very wrong for us to go to the analog way. But you see, as a country right now, all we are doing is the system and the leaders of this country are failing the common mwananchi. You see, chapter 1 of the Constitution says that the power belongs to the people, and the people of Kenya elected these people to go and deliver on the mandate the Kenyans elected them for. But in this case, they are not doing that. What they are doing is swindling public coffers. They are stealing money from the public coffers. There's a lot of corruption, and this is how we start now blaming technology. Actually, technology has no problem. The only problem are the people that are using the technology. So as Kenyans and as people of sound mind, we need to start being accountable of everything that we are doing. We need to start seeing transparency in every aspect that is happening. You see, we cannot start blaming technology, yet we, the people that are using technology, are not being responsible and are not being transparent.
And in fact, we could actually load technology for enabling the Auditor General to actually track the movement of this money, because there's always some imprint therein. Let's take a break before I even give Vincent an opportunity to, Vitalis, sorry, to contribute to this. You're watching the Youth Perspective of Morning Cafe. We'll be right back after this short break.
Is changing every day, and so should we, for the better. Each week, we tackle the big why, the question that should be on everyone's minds. Why isn't this fixed yet? Deforestation, global warming, and the adverse effects of climate change. The future isn't just something that we inherit, it's something that we create. Join us on The Green Fix as we tell the stories of those who refuse to give up. When it comes to fixing the planet, there is no time to waste. Join me, Shiksha Arora, on Thursdays at 9 p.m. on The Green Fix as we look into the big why, you and I.
For comprehensive information and education on your health, Body Garage is here.
Don't allow anyone to pluck out your good tooth as long as it is strong and stable.
Cancer doesn't start today and you get the symptoms tomorrow. By the time you pick it or the time it is manifesting in you, probably will be there about 5 to 10 years.
The eye is the window to the rest of the body.
Don't forget to stay hydrated.
And of course, you at home do take your water.
So the ultimate test is actually you check your urine. Your urine should be clear.
Clear like the water?
Yes. Should be able to see the other side of the urine. If your urine is colored or has changed color, you cannot see the other side, then you have not taken enough water.
Don't forget regular health checkups. Early detection saves lives.
I want the message be, we can prevent cervical cancer. We prevent.
All right, welcome back. You're watching The Youth Perspective on Morning Cafe. This morning we found ourselves discussing the issues around technology and whether or not we are victims of our own success, or could there be a few people who are taking advantage because of their knowledge or advanced knowledge of technology, much to the detriment of other Kenyans. And Vitalis, even as you contribute to this debate, I'd like to draw your attention now to the headline on the front page of the Daily Nation. We've said technology is good. And probably we should embrace it. But you can see even the resistance to technology, because governors are now rejecting a proposal by the National Treasury to have a centralized system of own source revenue, and the equivalent of e-citizen, but now for the devolved units to collect money together in the same way that this e-citizen has. Of course, they'll even talk about the national government and the challenges they are facing. But do you think there could be probably benefits, direct benefits, if at all we approach own source revenue collection in counties through such a system?
First of all, let's say that with the current generation, we have to embrace technology. We cannot move to the Precambrian ways of doing things and doing the hard copies, the printing things. So the governors don't want this new system of technology because they have the loopholes. You know, even the surveyor said that unemployment leads, then the second is corruption. So there's a lot of corruption in this country, and therefore when the governors are rejecting this system, there's something that they know. There are a lot of corruption that they're doing in that county, at the county level. That's why they're rejecting this new system of technology. And just to also give my feedback in terms of the money that was stolen in e-citizen. You see, the good thing about technology, you can trace. You can trace where this money went, you can trace the transaction that were made. But the government trying to defend itself that there was no any sort of the swindling of the Kenyan money, which means there's something that they know that they don't want to tell us. Yeah.
All right. Definitely we can trace.
Maybe just to weigh in briefly on the issue of technology. Fred, allow me just say that Kenya Kwanza regime is a crime scene. And Dr. Kiptoo must not try to divert the attention of Kenyans from a critical issues of trying to find out where the money went to. He knows he sits in that space, he knows, and the Auditor General cannot come out with an information that is not true. By the time an Auditor General releases an information, they have done their proper research, their background check, and they have done proper auditing, and they have ascertained that this is what we can feed the populace. So at this point, whatever you were given by Auditor General is true, and the money has disappeared. So what we are asking, are we going to promote technology as some people use their dubious way to siphon money from Kenyans? No. What we have to do is we must have men and women of integrity to manage those systems. Kenya Kwanza is a crime scene, and e-citizen has been reduced into a serious crime scene.
Okay. What is the place of the youth in enabling the larger community, because not all Kenyans understand technology. Even a huge percentage of people in the civil service are still very behind in as far as being up to speed with the current technology, and technology changes very fast. What is a place of youth in helping with this?
What I would say is, first of all, you see, when you look at the Kenyan Constitution, a youth is someone who's above 18 and is below 35. That is according to Chapter 17 of the Kenyan Constitution. And this group of young people are the largest in the country right now. Like, it's the biggest percentage right now. And you see, most young people have embraced technology, and you can see that most young people are doing content creation. They are actually doing digital activism. They are using this technology to ensure that information is reaching their fellow youth. Because I have seen young people capacity building others on social media on how the government is running its ways, and on how the money is being spent by the government. So technology has really helped the youth to ensure that they have really a good approach on how to ensure that this government is put into accountability. And it will be very wrong for anyone to say that they want to do away with social media, or they want to limit how social media is used in Kenya, like Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and others, because this is the only platform where the youth can air their views, because currently I don't think if they have any other way, because most of them, they're financially incapacitated because of the economic impact that this country has really done on them. So I feel like most young people have embraced technology, and they're doing it well. They're using it to do business. Some of them are selling online. Some of them are doing content creation. And I feel like technology is good, and it is helping us also to put this country into accountability, because if the biggest population is the youth and they have the information, it is very hard now for the government to steal money from us or from the public coffers. So technology is good for the young people, and I feel like even in 2027, most young people, especially those who don't have money and they would wish to run for positions, they can use this technology to campaign as their campaign tool. Because if you can go on the ground and you do your thing and you put it online, people see, they will be able to fundraise for you, you will be able to be seen, because technology has really, it's a good thing for Kenyans.
Vitalis, one of my panelists earlier this week, mentioned the fact that probably some of these consultancies and outsourcing of people managing technology for the government is because we don't have proper human resource locally. Yet we've seen very many young Kenyans who graduated, especially IT-related courses, due to lack of employment, engaging in some criminal activities, including hacking, banking systems, and such like things. It means that we have a huge potential in as far as understanding digital mechanisms and even providing this knowledge to government. Don't you think that probably that is where the government should be looking, that such minds that have a good understanding of technology could actually be helpful?
Actually, let me start by saying, without technology, we could have not gotten to understand the finance bill of 2023. And it's because of technology that the information was able to disseminate in every corner of the country, so that we were able to know now this is what the finance bill means. And you see, technology really cuts on cost in terms of if you go and do leverage on technology, there are expenses that you'll definitely cut. And definitely the government needs to try and see how it can absorb the young people in the government sector, especially those critical positions that needs people who know technology. So the crime scenes that have been committed by young people is because of the unemployment, and also hearing about many scandals that they go unaccounted for. That's what makes young people to try and see other means of trying to make their ends meet.
Right.
Yeah.
And this discussion could morph into a discussion that happened earlier this week, still linked to the Auditor General's report. There was that report by the Kenya Human Rights Commission about the Hustler Fund, one of the flagship projects of this administration, and the fact that 71% of the monies that were given out as loans were not paid back. The main intention was to empower economically, back to economic empowerment, people down there, especially younger Kenyans. But if at all they were to be empowered, if at all this mission was successful, then the loans would have been repaid. Ken Babu, do you think the Hustler Fund missed the point altogether?
Fred, the Hustler Fund is very critical, but let me weigh in on the technology briefly, kidogo, then we move on to the Hustler Fund. You know, technology the current position that we are in right now, and I agree with my brother that if not for the internet and IT and everything, we couldn't have been able to synthesize the finance bill of 2024. And to some extent, some people thought that finance bill was a new thing in 2024, but it has been there all through. But because of technology and the understanding of young people on what the technology is and the tech space, we were able to synthesize bit by bit and translate it into almost all dialects for people to understand. And then if you look at the X spaces and the meetings that the youth and Gen Zs conduct nowadays, it's always on media, IT. You don't have to meet, you have to converge physically. Just connect 1, 2, 3 and you have a sit down and engage and move forward. But look at the eCitizen founder. It's a young man. M-Pesa founder. Those are young people. It shows you that the youth have got enough brains to propel this country to the next level. But why is the government outsourcing other consultancy agencies, which to some extent are not even Kenya-based, to come and do these things? Because of the intentions to steal from the public. Look at that. The dubious means and put their ways in between, so that when that money comes in, they can easily divert it to their own and personal accounts. That's something that we must look into. 75% of the country are young people. And half of this percentage are people with clear information on IT. So then the government of Kenya must understand that we have enough youth capacity to run this country in terms of technology, economic progression, political stability in each and every spectrum. So we must take advantage of our youth for us to make progress. Let me weigh into the issue of Hustler Fund. I've had issues with this Hustler Fund from the onset. Because if they are saying that they give you 500 shillings, and if you borrow 500 shillings, you get 475. Already 25 shillings have been deducted for transaction. Let's say you are Mama Mboga, because anyway, the fund was intended to empower Mama Mboga from the ground. You go to Gikomba, to and fro, 200. You are left with 275. You take Mboga of 200. You are left with 75. It means that the whole day in market, you won't eat anything. Get that? How much are you going to get from 200, a capital seed of 200, for you to come back and pay Hustler Fund of 500 shillings and go back to the market again? So you see, there's no impact of this fund to the ground, to the intended person. Get that? And then the government says that they've been able to disburse about 6 billion. But the question is, who are the beneficiaries of this money? Who received the money? Get that? Because they are saying that they've disbursed 6 billion, but there is no impact on the ground. There's nobody who can say that I took this loan and this is my business progression as far as Hustler Fund is concerned. So the question that we are asking, where is the impact of this money? And two, where is the source of the Hustler Fund? Because we've not been told that this money was collected from somewhere and then put in the Hustler Fund account and now is being distributed. We do not understand the source of it. Who owns Hustler Fund accounts? Who is running the accounts? See, those are the questions that we are asking. Because to some extent, just like SHA account and now eCitizen, Hustler Fund accounts must, to some extent, it's being managed by individual. It's an individual property. So I tend to believe that this is a conveyor belt for somebody to either clean their money or to steal from the public and pass it through Hustler Fund and get back to their account. So those are critical questions that we are asking. Impact of the fund. Number two, what is the source of this fund? Number three, who are the managers of the account? So that we get to know that if this money is coming from the exchequer, maybe, we know that these are the managers of the account and this is the progression flow of the finances. And then we want to see the impact. You cannot say you've issued out more than 6 billion, but out of 53 million Kenyans, nobody has come out and said that this is the progression impact of this money as far as my business is concerned.
All right. With a poor repayment that only less than 30% of those who take Hustler Fund loans are actually repaying. Yet we see every year during the budget making process more funds being allocated to the same fund. Don't you think that the recommendation by KHRC to do away with the fund altogether should be something that we should consider? Or do you feel that the Hustler Fund is actually beneficial?
First of all, I would applaud Kenyans for having the knowledge about what is happening in this country. You see, I'm looking at what World Bank did to Kenya. It gave it a green card for economic rating and put it in a better position. And this was because they were saying there's a positive economic increase. They are looking at resilient agriculture. They're looking at remittances. They're looking at e-commerce and trade. They're looking at improved competitiveness, and they're also looking at diversification of efforts. But you see, the main challenges that are in Kenya right now that are making us not to be in a better position economically is that there's that borrowing so much. We have a debt vulnerability. Kenya borrows a lot of money. And also we are looking at accountability, and then there's policy uncertainty. You see, Kenya people in this country, someone can just wake up in the morning and they say something, and something becomes a law. So there's a lot of uncertainty, policy uncertainty in Kenya. So I feel like this Hustler Fund should just be done away, because I'm looking at borrowing 100 to 1,000 shillings. Is that money really enough to empower a Kenyan youth who has a degree? Because we're looking at a big number of Kenyan youth who have gone to school. They have degrees. And even if they don't have degrees, some of them have diplomas, some of them have certificates. We are dealing with an educated society of youth. So I am looking in this perspective, what can 500 or 1,000 do to these kind of people? So this Hustler Fund should be done away, and in this country should come up with ways of creating enough jobs for the young people in this country, because the biggest percentage right now of the youth are above 70%. Of the population of Kenya, above 70%, 70 to 75%. So if this is the biggest population of Kenya and it is unemployed, and we are here saying that we are doing well economically, and even World Bank is giving us a green card for economic rating, and the president has really talked about this all the time. He has said that this is a good thing for World Bank, but we are not doing well economically because most people are unemployed. There's no business. There's no cash flow. If there's cash flow in the system, and we are seeing that people are doing well and economically, then this is good. But if we are bringing in policies and we are coming up with things like Hustler Fund, which cannot empower the common mwananchi well, I feel like this should be done away, and we should just come up with ways to empower people in a good way.
All right.
Yes.
Vitalis, the president, in defense of Hustler Fund, said that the fund has actually disbursed over 72 billion shillings to 26 million Kenyans. Do you feel that 26 million Kenyans currently have been empowered economically by the Hustler Fund? That is something you would feel at whatever level of society where you are?
Let me comment on that Hustler Fund. You know, it's very funny that the guy, the CS, Mr. Oparanya, who was the other time in opposition telling Kenyans not to pay back the Hustler Fund, saying that it's a form of corruption for this government. It's funny that he's now in that docket. Actually, you know, the Hustler Fund was meant for the lower class in terms of how they can improve their businesses. But you find this lower class, the only limit that they can access is less than 1,000 shillings, mostly 500. So with 500, there's no business you can do in this country with 500 shillings, the way Ken Babu has explained. You know, so Hustler Fund should be scrapped off. And in the current budget, you find that the Hustler Fund has been reduced. The money has been reduced to a lower margin, meaning that the Hustler Fund is not working. So for me, I echo the fact that we need to scrap off this Hustler Fund.
None of you has come across anyone who has benefited from the Hustler Fund?
No one has benefited.
You can do TV47 can run a poll. Just ask random questions. How many Kenyans have benefited from Hustler Fund? You will not get any. Let me tell you, Fred. Hustler Fund, in fact, those who have taken Hustler Fund, has borrowed Hustler Fund, they are not borrowing because there's something beneficial.
Yeah.
There's a feeling that this is our money and the government has stolen from us enough. Now it is time to take this money and eat it. Because anyway, even if you take it, what are you going to do with it apart from eating? Get that?
Yeah.
So, Fred, Hustler Fund is a crime scene. E-Citizen is a crime scene. Kenya Kwanza is a chief lead crime scene. So this country is under serious threat, economic, politically, and social threat in the regime of Kenya Kwanza. That's why Hustler Fund must be kept aside for people, for that money to be diverted into something meaningful. Education, health, get that? Economic empowerment of young people, so that we can have something meaningful.
All right.
Yes.
Actually, Hustler Fund is empowering the middle class and people with money, because the limit is a bit like 3,000, 5,000. So with that amount, you can just go for lunch. I think there's nothing you can do, because the middle class, you cannot start a business with 3,000 shillings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just buy coffee and and kuku at Java and you're good to go.
Yeah. Those who equate this Hustler Fund to this money being dished out through the economic empowerment programs that the Deputy President is running, do you feel that none of these efforts is simply intended to empower anyone? It's purely political intentions.
Let me weigh in on that, Bwana Fred. The economic empowerment that is happening across the country. You see, for me, I like working with tangible evidence. You are these are a TV station, a media house, and you guys report. Have you come across any woman who have done something meaningful with the money collected from those economic empowerment? Have you? You've not, because there's none. Where will you get them from? What happens is this. Mr. 64 shillings, the Deputy President, comes with his friends. They do the money collection. After collections, the money is taken into the car, gets back to Nairobi. Women are gathered and they're dished out with the normal mobilization fee, 2,000 or 1,000 each. From there, you know, all this happens after the women have already shouted and celebrated and praised the government. So that is what the media captures and feeds the public, that the president was here, women are happy, and all. But at the back end of it, there is no impact of that economic empowerment. In fact, it is economic disempowerment. That's what they are doing. Because how do you put somebody's mother for a whole day basking in the sun while you are sitting on the dais enjoying soft drinks, and then end up giving them 2,000 to divide amongst themselves about 30 people? 64 shillings for the whole day? This is somebody who could have gone down, who could have focused on doing their small businesses as usual. So what we are saying is, there is no economic empowerment that is happening right now. It is political campaign that is happening. These people are trying to maneuver and lure the populace that they're actually doing something.
Is it working? That's the question. Because, okay, fine, if that is a dividend to be gained, even politically, probably we could assess that. Do you think, Winfred, that politically, this empowerment program could be having any positive impact on the ruling administration?
What I would say is, I'm looking at the largest revolutionary acts in the world. I'm looking at Malcolm X, I'm looking at Martin Luther King Jr. These are people who brought changes in societies when they were very young. And in this case, I'm really urging the youth of this country to really step up. And first of all, we need to do a voter registration. They need to register as voters. And then they also need to vote in 2027 so that they can come up with leaders that will bring serious economic empowerment to their parents or to their mothers and fathers. Because I am looking at these economic empowerment programs as avenues of looting the money for Kenyans. Because if you are coming with 1 million shillings and you are giving 2,000 or 1,000 shillings each to a group of 50, 100 people or 20, this is not economic empowerment. Actually, this is mental sabotage. You are actually you're making these people feel like honestly, what can I do with 50, 60, 70 shillings? So And then another thing that really eats me up is, or that is really eating this country, is accountability. You see, you can go somewhere, you give a group of people money. So you don't know if this money will be eaten or this money will go to projects that will be beneficial. Because you don't know if these groups are registered or not registered. Because if a group is registered, it means they are able to get money and do meaningful projects on the ground. But you see, these groups are not registered. Some of them are not registered. I'm not saying that all of them are not registered. Some are registered and some are not. But you see, you just tell people, oh, come in groups, you're giving you money. Yes, you are giving us money. Where is the accountability? Where is the impact? And then after this, you see these programs have been there since the campaigns of 2022. We need to see evidence. We need to see testimonies of people saying, oh, I was helped by this economic empowerment program to do this business. I have set up this business. Instead, we are seeing people complaining more. We are not seeing any positive impact. Okay. Another thing I am looking at, giving someone, let's say, a machine for a car wash machine. I am also looking at giving someone a posho mill machine or even a chips machine. And you see, you're giving 20 people one machine. How will this machine help these 20 people? Mm-hmm. You see, this country really needs to step up. As a country, we are not doing well. We need to come up with systems to ensure that we are empowering people in a good way. Actually, this is not economic empowerment.
And if you look at those attempts by the administration, the Hustler Fund, still intended to empower people bottom up, and then this Empowerment Act. Do you think this empowerment program, the fact that they're pursuing that right now, could be an indication that they've already seen the failures of the Hustler Fund?
Let me say this. I don't support this economic empowerment. I don't understand why the deputy president is being funded, his office is being funded to do the empowerment project. And this empowerment project is more of a focused on a region, not the whole country, And this empowerment is some sort of now the politicians trying to focus on the year 2027. The public has lost trust in the system, and therefore they are trying to see on other avenues that can make them relate with the people. I fully don't support the empowerment thing that is being done by this government, because any public fund should be accounted for. We are losing billions of money are being misused on such things like, especially the NADCO thing that has come. The young people, the 75% of the young people, they don't need the NADCO. They don't need a committee to come and discuss on how they're going to create more position for the opposition. We don't need more position for the opposition. So the economic empowerment, this is just a way of swindling Kenyan money. Is a way of, this money can be channeled to other projects, crucial projects like the hospitals. The hospitals lack supplies, the hospitals lack machines, the hospitals lack those critical services. But you see, the money is being directed to something that is not even needed. The country should right now focus on addressing the present issues that are affecting the young people. We lost Gen Z in the year 2023, but if you do statistics, even TV47 can do that. There are no family that have been reimbursed well, So with the economic empowerment, this money can be channeled even in health sectors, in education sectors, and also do some development in this country. So we don't support the economic empowerment aspect.
All right. Moving on from that discussion, and still on something you've mentioned about the MOU that was signed between UD and ODM, that a special committee has been set up to follow up on those in the 10-point agenda. One of them is what you've mentioned, the compensation of victims.
Yeah.
Are you still there, Ken Babu? Are you confident in that process that implementation of this 10-point agenda, including the full implementation of NADCO, will be consequential to this country?
Allow me to say that the committee that was formed, I think it has around 4 or 5 people.
5 people.
That is, if you look at the people who have been appointed to that committee. You see, sometimes you also look at the stature and the position of the people being appointed. Those are people who some of them had applied for, were hopeful principal secretaries. They were not able to get it. Some of them were hopeful senators nomination. They were not able to get it. Now they've been hanging around looking for jobs, and then President Ruto, as is always trying to find ways to reward these people. He gave them that committee with a budget to run around, drink tea, eat mandazis in Diani, Naivasha, in the pretext of pushing the implementation. What is in that 10-point agenda? that needs a committee to oversee its implementation. What is in that 10-point agenda that the president and the prime cabinet, the prime minister, Raila Odinga, cannot implement now that they are president and the co-president? What is in that document that they cannot implement? If you look at Agenda 1, implement of NADCO report. Implementation of NADCO report does not even need Raila to be in government. Implementation of NADCO is as clear and black and white. The president just needs to do what is right as far as NADCO and in line with the constitution is concerned. He doesn't need a committee again of other people to come and help him implement the document. If you look at equity in appointments and budgets, if you want to, honestly, the president has the capacity to appoint the entire cabinet, to nominate people to be in the cabinet. Do you need a committee to guide you on how to ensure that there is equity in those appointments? Do you need a committee to guide you and see on how there is equity in budgeting? Look at strength and devolution. These are things that are well outlined in the Constitution. So the president just needs to work in accordance with the Constitution. There's no need of committee. Let's look at the youth empowerment. These are things that the Gen Zs have outlined very well. What we are looking for is conducive environment to do our own businesses. What we are looking for is job creations, opportunities. What we are saying is work within the constitutionality and respect to the law, avoid corruption, so that we can also meet with the money, we can also engage with the money. Look at that. These are not things that you need a select committee to go and sit somewhere in Diani, taking tea on taxpayers' accounts to show you how to implement this. Check on leadership and integrity. The constitution is clear. Chapter 6 on what need to happen with the leaders as far as integrity is concerned. So we also have EACC looking in dealing with that as well. We have the constitution clearly stated, but still we need a committee of 6 or 5 to tell the president that this is how you have to operate to implement leadership and integrity. Let me just finish up with this number 6, right to peaceful assembly. National debt audit, fight corruption, end public waste, uphold to the rule of law. Looking at this 10-point agenda, Fred, I do not see where there is need for a president to appoint a committee to oversee the implementation. Most of these things are clearly stipulated in the Constitution. And the issue of compensation of Gen Zs, the president has a record of all the affected families. And there's a criteria of compensation. And he knows what needs to be done. He doesn't need to have a committee of 6. Go and sit in Naivasha and draw again. These are the Rex family. These are the families of Rex, Denzel Odhiambo, Albert Ojwang, and this is how you should compensate them. So what I'm saying is the committee, and we've seen committees come and go. Chances are that this committee will not deliver anything. We saw the new funding model committee came and disappeared. Get that? NADCO committee, it gave a report, but today we are struggling with the implementation. Chances are that this committee that is set to sit up to 2026, and then President Ruto seeks a second term, will not deliver anything.
What would be the intention? Now, if at all you agree that probably the committee will not be consequential, then what would be the intention of these leaders in these actions that they made? Appointing a committee, are they simply trying to pacify the masses?
Actually, let me just look at the NADCO report first. The NADCO report proposed the formation of the Office of the Opposition and the Prime Minister. It also proposed the increment of the IBC commissioners from the selection panel to 9. And then it also proposed the formalization of the National Constituency Development Fund, and also the same fund should also be given to senators and women reps for affirmative action purposes. And if this committee that has been formed, indeed, it will be able to come up with a good criteria or a good plan on how these things can be implemented, then it will just be a game of interest, because I'm looking at politics as a game of interest. It will actually, in this case, we know who automatically becomes the Prime Minister. That will be the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. So I think this is an issue of selfish interests at the verge of a country that is grappling with economic with economic issues. So I feel like, yes, the committee can be formed, but then it has no serious impact on the lives of Kenyans. It is not what the Kenyans really want. The Kenyans want SHA to cover everything for them at the hospitals, the way NHIF was doing. The Kenyans want the roads for Kenyans to be in good shape. The Kenyans want the Kenyans want development. That is the least they are asking for. They are asking for development. They are asking for accountability and transparency. They are also asking for good livelihood. They are asking for reducing of poverty in this country, because poverty is at a high rate right now, and the people, there's a very large gap between the middle class and the poor people, and also the class that is up there. So I feel like we need, as a country, our priorities are getting wrong. So I agree, committees need to be formed, and I actually don't have any problem with this committee. But if this committee will handle the issues that are affecting Kenyans, then well and good. But if it will concentrate on this NADCO report, then we are doomed as a country.
Yeah, Vitalis, the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga has already called for a national conclave. Don't you think that some of the issues being handled by this committee should have been the subject to be discussed at that level? That probably we're having various discussions over and over on different platforms to no end.
That intergenerational conclave that was proposed by His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga, for me, I feel like this is just a waste of taxpayers' money. Because, Gen Z were very clear in the year 2023. They placed their agendas very clear. That doesn't need any committee to come and intervene. So, you see, this committee will not solve the issue of unemployment, will not solve the issue of corruption, will not solve the issue of high taxation. So we don't need any committee to solve the issues that are affecting the young people right now. Even the NADCO report, this is just, the committee that was created is just political brothers to reward their friends. There's nothing that's going to happen there. They're just going to waste the public money to have meetings in very expensive hotels, but these things will not resolve the issues that are affecting the young people right now. Yeah.
All right. As we come to the end of our show, it is time for us to discuss the devolved units. Next week, we'll have the devolution conference in Homa Bay. This being 2025 is exactly 15 years after the promulgation of the Constitution, but 13 years since the rollout of the first devolved units, 12, 13 years. We seem to have gone back to a centralized view of our politics. The intention of having devolved units was that we have less focus on the center of power at the national level and focused more on the different regions. It would appear the focus has gone back to the presidency. Do you think we've lost a lot of focus in as far as devolved units, and in that allowed the devolved units to do a lot of things without proper accountability?
Yeah, true. I agree with you. You see, when you see the members of parliament and governors running to State House in the pretext of we are going to look for development, that's where the problem starts. If devolution is to work, the governor has no business parading themselves along the corridors of State House, sipping coffee in the pretext of we are looking for development. Which development? You have a budget, you have an allocation, you have the capacity, you have a county, you can collect revenue. You can propagate those developments within your counties. Get that? So you see, governors have reduced themselves to workers, employees of the state, of the president or whoever is in power at that time, to an extent that if they don't go to State House, they believe they won't get development. Same case with the members of parliament. Members of parliament have clear roles and responsibilities, but still you find them hanging around the State House in pretext of getting development. What we are saying is this: the governors that we have must respect the Constitution's dictation and elaboration of term devolution, and the expectations of the framers of the Constitution on what devolution should do and how it should be run, so that they detach themselves from depending on the national government with some few, some myopic thinking that if they don't align, they won't get development. Look at Kivutha Kibwana in Makueni. Kivutha Kibwana at that time, the party under which he was elected in wasn't in government. But look at the things he did in Makueni. Up to date, he stands out as one of the exemplary governors who went and sat down and did what the evolution dictated that they should do. Get that? But today, what do we have? Governors have reduced themselves and they have stopped doing what they should do, running to State House. What I would say is this, Fred. We just need to end bad manners in everything that we do, more so when it comes to running of a state or a county. Most of these guys that are running to State House every day are running there because of their corrupt cases, so that they are not pinned down by the agencies, so that they are seen that they are aligned with the president, they are seen that they are close to the president to evade corruption cases and graft cases. The truth of the matter is we must have people of integrity in offices who can really sit down like Kivutha Kibwana and work for the people without fear of being arrested anytime from anywhere.
But it would appear we've also just devolved bad manners, bickering at the political level to the counties, Winfred. We've seen even Kivutha Kibwana that you mentioned, the kind of problems he had in Makueni between himself and the county assembly. Yes. Do you think that probably that is where we're failing, that our politics from the bottom up is already messed up, and even with a devolved system, we would still find ourselves in this crisis?
I'm looking at the politics of Kenya as a circus because most politicians in Kenya, especially during campaigns, they dish out a lot of money to the electorate. And this dishing out of money has brought that syndrome of, you see, I will not elect you. And you see, I'm also blaming this on the common mwananchi. I will not elect you because of what you can do or your ideologies, but I'm going to elect you because of how much I have received from you. If you're giving me 1,000, I will vote for you. If you're giving me 500 bob, 200 bob, I will vote for you. So this country, we need to change our way of doing politics, because you see, if someone is giving you their 1,000 and you know you are not alone, he's giving so many people 1,000 shillings or 2,000 or 3,000 or whatever amount it is. And once this person gets elected into office, you see, they will start saying, now I want to start getting back my money because I used my money for campaigns. Now I want to start getting back my money. And that is how people start now stealing the money that is meant for the public. And you see, the Auditor General, Nancy Gathungu, CBS, who has the mandate, according to the Kenyan Constitution, Chapter 229, Article 229, to be able to give reports on how finances are being used by different government entities that are being funded by public money. And you see, we are looking at the national government. These are some of the entities. We are looking at the county government, the judiciary, the commissions, even the political parties. And our main focus now is on the county governments. And you see, most county governments have become crime scenes. Most money that is meant to do the roads, to do the hospitals, it is being swindled by these governors. And some governors, not all of them are bad. Some governors are very good. And actually, devolution is very good. But there is the good side and the bad side. So the good side is that there's actual development on the ground, because you can see some roads that were not tarmacked have been tarmacked. You can see that some hospitals that were doing so badly have improved. I'm looking at a case study of Murang'a County. They are doing so well as a devolved government. But I'm looking at some counties, they are actually in a pathetic state. Because how would you explain to people that your hospitals in your county do not even have drugs? How do you explain to people that as the governor of a county, your roads are in a pathetic state, that the schools are doing, they're also doing badly, yet you have billions of money that are being dispersed to you in every financial year? Okay. So the politics of this country need to change. We need to vote people according to ideologies, and we need to find a way of enabling, of creating an enabling environment for a good coexistence between the two parties, so that a lot of money is not swindled in between.
Right, and probably you're giving too much when you think about evolution, focusing too much on the governors. We've seen instances where many governors are simply held hostage or at ransom by their respective county assemblies. So what happened in Meru? We can see what's happening in Kericho. At the moment, Governor Mutai has even called for the dissolution of his county because the assembly is trying to impeach him for a second time. Could that be the problem? That we inadvertently give too much power to county assemblies, that they are not allowing their county executives, headed by the governors, to actually perform the devolved functions?
Actually, it's not an issue about giving much power to these governors. Actually, the issue is the kind of leaders that we elect. You know, we are not electing leaders of integrity. We are not electing leaders who have a proven track record. We are electing thugs. And I want to say that come 2027, the only reward, the best reward we can give to the young people we lost, the heroes we lost, is by electing leaders who have sound mind. So the issue of the county being in all this mess is because of the corruption among these leaders. And therefore, we want to say that come 2027, we elect leaders of integrity who will be able to polish the county systems. The issue of, like these members of parliament who always go to the state house, as Ken Babu has mentioned, to look for projects, to look for, I don't know, development. You know, there's a budget. You have to propose that in the parliament. You don't go to the state house to seek for this development. I like what Babuino is doing. And Babuino is doing a very good job and is in opposition. And also let me talk about C.S. Oparanya when he was the governor of Kakamega County. He was in opposition, but there's a lot that Governor Oparanya did in the county of Kakamega. Actually, is among the best counties in terms of development when he was in leadership. So we just need to elect leaders of integrity who will run the country.
And I have exactly 3 minutes for your parting shot. So let's start with you, Vitalis. Just a parting shot, a rallying call probably to the young Kenyans. There's voter registration coming up, there are by-elections coming up. What would you tell young Kenyans?
I will tell the young Kenyans that let's speak in one voice. Let's support each other. The registration is coming. Kindly register and be a voter come 2027. We can only reform this country when we're in the system. So young people, come out in numbers, go for those positions come 2027, go for them and make sure that you elect leaders of integrity. Don't just elect anyone. Thank you.
Right. Winfred, a parting shot.
I will tell the young people that power belongs to us according to the Constitution. So right now we need to do voter registration when the time comes. We also need to vote, because if we don't vote, because that is where the power is. If we don't vote, that is where the problem comes in. So in 2027, let us be let us vie for the positions. Let the young people come out to vie for presidency, women reps, senators, governors, and any other position, even MCA, any other position that they would love to vie. And also let the young people support the young people, not because of the money, but because of the ideologies they are carrying for them. And that is the only way we can get good leadership in this country. And also, we also need to do away with, we need to stop being the stone throwers. We need to stop being the people that are bullying other young people online who are vying for positions. We need to support one another. We need to stop these, we need to stop being used as the goons, because at the end of the day, we matter.
Parting shot, Ken Bob.
Thank you so much, Fred. Allow me to appreciate the TV47 and Cape Media for providing this opportunity. Mine is very brief. Just to say that I want to confirm to Kenyans that Hustler Fund is indeed a crime scene. E-Citizen is a crime scene. And Kenya Kwanza is the biggest historical mistake that we did as a country to put to power. And that one must be corrected in 2027. By September, President William Ruto is left with 2 Christmas. That is Christmas of 2025 and Christmas of 2026. The Christmas of 2027, he will enjoy it from wherever it is that he likes. But we must put a stop to the Kenya Kwanza regime.
All right, Ken Babu, Youth Chair, the United Opposition, and you can hear his comment there. Vitalis Nyongesa, Youth Leader, and Winfred Asiko Abuti, Political Analyst. Thank you so much for your time at TV47 on the Youth Perspective this morning. Yes, it is indeed a feel-good Friday. A lot more in store for you. DJ Granite will be in studio, plus the spelling bees as well. But remember that the Mount Kenya University today will be holding their 27th graduation ceremony, and will be beaming that event live later on this morning. My name is Fred Indimuli. Have a lovely weekend.